Hi, everybody. My name is Zach Soflin, and with Layer, and today you're watching Layer Quick Bytes, where in 10 minutes or less, I'll show you all the amazing things you can build with Layer. Today, I'm going to show you how you can sync spreadsheets with the Layer API. So let's get rolling. I'll share my screen here. And we're going to start in Excel here, and I'm going to create a new workbook completely from scratch. There we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up a Layer project here, and we have this example project where I have this list of product specs inside of my project. So this is a list of all the products that belong in a specific project. And what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that I need to update the desired quantities and maybe the unit costs for these. And I want to do that in Excel because maybe I have a lookup table or something that I'm going to populate here. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly open up an Excel document, a blank Excel document, and we're going to go to the data tab right here. So the first step here is to create a connection between the Layer API and the Power Query inside of Excel. So I'm going to click on this From Web button, and this is going to bring up a URL query that I can enter the parts of my URL that I actually want to look up data from. And so this is relatively straightforward. Inside of Layer, basically we type in HTTPS api.layer.team. Then we're going to type /projects, /. I need to follow this by my project ID. You can find your project ID inside of your layer window. I have this installed as a local app, so you'll just find it inside of the URL. I'm going to go to this, and we're going to enter my project ID. I believe it's that one. There we go. And then next, we're going to type /elements. And now we're going to add a few more parts to this. So far, we've just told it to look up all the elements in this project. But what I'm going to do is now add a couple query parameters. So we're going to start with a question mark, and we're going to say category ID equals, and we're going to paste in our category ID. And this I think I have here. And then we're going to go down another line. We're going to type an ampersand sign. We're going to call this view ID equals, and we're going to paste in our view ID. Again, all these can be found, oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. All these can be found directly inside of your URL, inside of your Layer project. There we go. Okay, so the last part we're going to add here is an ampersand. We're going to call format equals simple. This will simplify the format for use in Excel. The last thing we have to do is authorize the API call. And you can find your API token in your Layer dashboard. So I'm going to type in the word bearer space, and then I'm going to paste my API token directly in here. I'm going to copy this. There we go, and we're going to paste it in here. All right, so I'll hit OK. Now we should have a connection pulling in all of the items from this category. So you can see I've got 4 different objects showing up here. The first is elements. This is what I want to dig into. So I'm going to click on list, and you'll see that it'll give me a list of all of my records. And the next step is we're going to click this to convert it to a table. And so now that it's converted to a table, I can click expand. And you can see that now these are all of my column names. I'm going to click OK. And what we're doing right now is we're setting up the way we're going to bring in data into Excel every time we refresh the data. So you're only having to do this once, and then you can refresh the data as much as you'd like. So you can see this is most of the metadata for these items, including the name, the created at, created by, etc. What I want to do is I need to expand the fields to show the actual properties or my custom properties. And you can see this when I click on to expand the fields. You can see all of my custom properties I've created for these items, including desired quantity and my item tag, etc. So I'm going to click OK. And now you can see it's pulled in all of my data, like for example, the model of each of these, the unit cost, and the website. And I think I have desired quantity. There it is, desired quantity right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to rename a few of these, and you can just rename these columns by double clicking on them and hitting enter. So I'm not going to rename all of them, but I'm going to rename a few of the ones that we're going to use, including the model. And let's say do the unit cost. There we go. Okay, so once we have this formatted, we can obviously format the rest of those columns if we'd like. But once it's done, we can click close and load. And what you'll notice is it will now go and get that data and format the data based on those rules, if I'd like. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, while we're waiting on data to come in, oh, there it is. I'm going to come back over here and we're going to modify just a few of these desired quantities. So I'm going to actually just remove the quantities from this armless lounge chair, and we're going to remove the quantity from this L desk as well. So now all my desired quantities are completely blank. If we go back to the Excel spreadsheet and we find our desired quantities right here, you can see that I still have that desired quantity of 20 and 3 in here. But what I can do is come over to the query tab, hit the refresh button. And as soon as I refresh this, it's going to re-bring in all of the data. And you can see that it erased my desired quantities based on the changes I made inside of Layer. Now, let's say that I want to now update those desired quantities. I'm just going to add some random values across these. And what I can do now is I can take and let's modify, I guess, the unit cost on some of these as well. Oops, there it is, unit cost. So let's change them all to, let's just say it's all going to be $1,200. All right, there we go. So now if I want to bring this data back into my Layer project, I can save this spreadsheet, and I'm going to save it here, and we'll call it Quick Bytes. And you can import an Excel file. I'm just going to do a CSV really quick. And now if I come back into Layer, I can click here to import elements. We can choose our Quick Bytes CSV. And once it processes the file, it'll allow me to choose which columns to bring in to my spreadsheet. So I'm going to say I want to bring this into my products or product specs category. We're going to hit continue, and this is where I can set the details. So, you know, we had all those columns in there that I didn't rename or anything else like that. We're going to ignore most of those columns, but what we really care about is these right here, the model and the unit cost. And it found those existing columns. Model, unit cost, and desired quantity. There we go. So I'm going to hit continue. We'll import those elements. And now all of that data should be inserted into my Layer items. All right, we'll turn on desired quantities. There we go. One thing to note that if you want to import these into the existing items themselves, we can do that by essentially selecting the ID that we want to match this too. So I'm going to show you that here really quick. So if we just re-import this file and say we want to update the existing items themselves, we can do that. We'll import it into product specs again. And the difference here is we're going to match up this ID with the element number, essentially. Click continue, import. And now once this is done, we can close out of this. And now our items, desired quantities should be updated. You can see them coming in right there. So I'm going to refresh the page and we'll see both the desired quantity and let's do the unit cost. Oops. There we go. Okay. So you can see here's all of the items with the desired quantities and unit costs. All right. That's it for today. Hopefully you learned how you can pull this information into Layer and sync data back to a spreadsheet with the Layer API. If you want to know more, we do have our documentation for our API at docs.layer.team. If you're interested in getting started with Layer, you can scan this QR code here and we'd be happy to give you a demo of the product. Thank you.